Hey, welcome back to another episode of Not Enough Thumbs. This week's film is Damsel from 2024.
Yeah, so this one is about this princess of a small country, I guess. No, it wasn't Genovia, but it was a small country, and it was not a very well-to-do country. It was kind of struggling and wasn't sure if it was going to be able to make it very much longer. Money was running out, resources were running out. This other clan found them, and I don't recall how they found them or that it really ever says how.
But they were a well-off kingdom.
They were. And they came and struck up a deal with the king for the daughter, for the marriage of the daughter.
Millie Brown,
yeah, with her name was Elodie, with their prince. So it was kind of a, hey, we'll give you this much money. You give us your daughter, she will become our princess. And that was kind of what the deal ended up being. She goes...
You start to learn something is up when the mother was waiting on the husband during the negotiation. Stepmother. And then the husband comes out looking different.
He looks distraught and,
yes,
and unhappy about whatever he learned in the meeting, but he was keeping it private. He wasn't saying anything about it. But you kind of had a sense that something wasn't quite right. And then when the stepmother and the queen have an interaction, the queen was very much, we're not in this for gaining any more family. We're in this just for a money exchange.
Purely transactional.
It's purely a business transaction.
Yeah.
So you could tell then, okay, something's not right with this whole thing. Something's going to go down.
Yeah, you know what the story's about now, and then it kind of goes downhill from here.
Yeah. So you find out that they needed these 3 princesses every generation to sacrifice to a dragon.
So I thought that was the really cool part of this movie, is that this was a dragon movie. And
it was a neat looking dragon.
It was a neat looking dragon. There's not a whole lot of dragon movies out there, and my favorite one to this day is still the one with Chris McConaughey and Christian Bale. Is it Christian Bale, the Batman guy?
Yeah.
Christian Bale. Reign of Fire. It was really, really cool looking dragon that everybody was scared of.
Yeah, so this one was cool also. I liked the way that the neck the flames would come up the neck as it was about to blow fire.
And it was not just fire, it was lava.
Yeah.
It was lava. It's just stuck.
It was crazy. But anyway, so she gets she goes through with the wedding, because of course she doesn't know any of this yet. They get married. The ritual was that the prince throws the princess into this pit down into the cave of the dragon. And so he does this. She falls down
a long ways.
A really long way, and hits every branch the whole way down, but yet only has a few scratches.
Yeah.
on her face. So that part was a little bit unrealistic. I mean, they would have fallen and had broken bones, and so, you would think. Yes, they padded them with a ton of clothing, but...
It's like when Batman fell onto the car from that, the top of the building. And
yeah.
They're both fine.
One of the significant things that you don't necessarily put a connection to in the beginning is when the housemaids were dressing her, getting her ready for the wedding, they hide a dagger in her dress.
Yep.
So they give her a weapon to use against this dragon because they know what she's being sent into. But anyway, it's kind of a movie about her struggle and her battle for survival down in this dragon's cave, and the interactions that she has with this dragon. The dragon does talk, which I think is a little bit unrealistic because, as we know, animals and creatures do not communicate with human language.
Yeah, that was the part that... I agree. The reason why the dragon in Reign of Fire was a lot more terrifying is because it didn't talk. And usually the enemy animals, whether it be old cartoons or whatever, all the other good animals talk, but then it's bad if it doesn't talk.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
So I thought that was a little cheesy that they had the dragon talking. I think they would have had to completely rewrite the movie though, because majority of what the movie you learn from what the dragon tells her.
Because
so the dragon gives the backstory.
Yeah. The dragon itself has a story.
And the dragon is the one who forced the ritual for the rich people. So basically the gist of it is the kingdom came in to try to kill the dragon. They weren't able to kill her, but they killed her babies. So they murdered all 3 of her babies, and so she was angry and said she was going to put a curse on them forever, and as long as she lived. Yep. So she made them promise that for her to leave them alone, they had to sacrifice 3 of their daughters every generation. So that meant that the princes had to pretend to love 3 girls that were going to be killed. And then after that, he was free to live and love who he chose. But the first 3, he had to sacrifice to this dragon. So he went along with it though. He could have had some balls and stood up to him and said, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not murdering these girls. Yep. But no, he went right along with it. So you see that the Elodie ends up telling the dragon the truth that, hey, you've been murdering innocent girls as well. We're not royalty. We were forced into this, and they cut our hands and mixed our blood with theirs to give us the scent to you that we were royalty, but we are not royalty.
Now that part makes more sense.
So that's why they all had cuts on the hands. Yeah. She said all of the princesses that have ever come down here had these cuts on their hands, because that's how they made us royal, but we're not. So you've been doing the same thing to all these women that they did to you. So you're no better, basically, is what she told the dragon. So she and the dragon become besties. She goes back up to the mainland and confronts the queen, and the kingdom gives whoever a chance to leave, but of course the queen and king and son decide they're going to stand strong. Well, then the dragon burns the whole kingdom down, I think, with them in it. So, and
it looked like the son was ready to take it.
He was ready to take the punishment.
He knew what his sins were, and he felt guilty, and he was going to take, he was going to take it.
So he did. He burned with his parents.
Yep.
And the entire kingdom, whoever stayed and didn't leave.
I thought it was a pretty, well-produced movie.
Yeah, it was good. It was very entertaining.
The dragon was, looked really cool.
It did. It was a very cool visual.
Because there's some, cheap effects out there, but this one was fun to watch.
And this is rated PG-13. I'm not really sure what the PG-13 is for. Maybe the last scene when they burn, you can see. And then there's a few clips of skeletons where princesses had been burned, and you could see, where they were killed. But there was no gore. There was no, she stabs the dragon, and there's a little bit of dragon blood, but there's not really any gore. There's no language. It was a well-produced, very clean
good action, a good fantasy movie overall.
Millie Brown's just a great actress. I enjoy watching her.
And I don't know, there's not a lot of dragon movies, so I'm glad they made another one, and it's a decent one.
I agree. So what do you rate this one?
I'd give it 7.5.
Okay. I was going to give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was good. I thought it was very good. All right.
Cool.
So there you have it. Our episode 86. Damsel from 2024. So hope you enjoyed the review. Hopefully you'll give it a watch. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix special. So check it out and let us know in the comments what you think.
See you next time.
Bye.